Police vans surrounding the headquarters of Germany's biggest lender. If Deutsche's image wasn't already in tatters, it certainly is now. The bank's accused of helping clients hide money earned from crime. The suspicion of money laundering reportedly based on revelations in the 2016 Panama Papers. The identity of the suspects hasn't been revealed, but it's known that they're accused of failing to report hundreds of suspicious transactions linked to a company located in the Virgin Islands. These are the kinds of claims that, if true, could mark the beginning of the end for Deutsche Bank. A demise, some say, has been a long time coming. Deutsche has posted 3 consecutive years of losses. Earlier this year, it ousted its British boss John Cryan in favour of this man, insider Christian Sewing. Now it'll be up to him to address accusations that Deutsche hasn't only been mismanaged, but involved in far shadier, potentially criminal business.
And let's get more now on this developing story. I'm joined here in the studio by Helena Humphrey. Uli Bartz is also standing by with a view from Frankfurt. Helena, I'd like to begin with you. Put this into context for us. How big is this for Deutsche?
I'm afraid, Sarah, it essentially doesn't get more serious than this when it comes to the allegations. This morning, dawn raids in Frankfurt, in offices in and around the city, triggered by those allegations that Deutsche Bank essentially was involved in setting up a separate entity in the British Virgin Islands, a known tax haven, for storing the funds of around 900 customers, money to the tune of 300 million euros, earned, I use that term loosely, begotten, ill-begotten, essentially, according to those allegations, through criminal activity. The allegations there of being involved with potentially organised crime is something which no bank, no company wants to have on their hands.
And Deutsche Bank, their headquarters raided there in Frankfurt. Uli Bartz is actually standing by at the stock exchange in that city, where investors were also quick to react, weren't they, Uli?
Yes, they sold the share immediately. Now, it didn't crash or anything like that, but it is going down by a good 3%. It went immediately from a slight gain. It was motoring along quite nicely into the negative territory. And the awful thing about that is, even though it's just a loss of about 3% right now, it's getting closer again to its all-time low that it reached in November 20th at just over €8. And investors, of course, are getting nervous again about the direction of the share. The bank obviously is also nervous because after a first statement that came not that long ago after the raid became known, there was a second statement that came after the noon hour. And in this, the Deutsche Bank says, we had been convinced that we had provided authorities with relevant information on Panama Papers. In other words, the bank doesn't know what the heck is going on, I'm formulating it in my words, with this publicly spectacular raid. In other words, it's complaining about the kind of setup this took with all those police vans in front of its headquarters.
And I mean, that really has to make you wonder about what the potential consequences might be here. And also, you know, keeping in mind that this is not the first time that Deutsche has been in the crosshairs of authorities, right, Helena?
Absolutely. I mean, Uli there was just talking about the fact that that spectacle today's already knocked the share price down. That is one day of reputational damage. Essentially, what we could see now, and we will see, is this investigation, which will potentially lead to a fine. Employees who are found to be guilty could face prison time. Essentially, who wants to park their money, store their cash with a bank which has been found to be working with criminals? It's not a good look. Some people are saying that, you know, if these allegations are proved to be correct, this could mark the beginning of the end for Deutsche Bank, which is already in dire straits financially, 3 years of losses in a row. But let's see, it's certainly a massive investigation which is underway. Nevertheless, German prosecutors have been in possession of this information since the Panama paper leaks 2 years ago. Many people will be saying it's a welcome step. Other people may be wondering, you know, why has it taken this long? Is that due to just how big the case is? But we will certainly be following every twist and turn of this developing case.
The investigation getting underway. We will see what indeed the authorities conclude. Helena Humphrey here in the studio. Uli Bartz in Frankfurt, thank you so much.